Now what? You look like just about the right amount of trouble right there. Stand if you think it's you. What you notice is that it all happens. Did that really look like the path of least resistance to you? Really? Do you struggle in everything in life?
Okay.
Good enough?
Great, perfect, awesome. Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Your time's up.
All right. So basically I'm working on, or I've attracted a lot of success with my own business and with my own company. And it's a little bit overwhelming because it's a whole new leadership position.
And you think you're the law of attraction and the stage manager. Yeah. You're not, you're the pointer. Mm-hmm. That was easy.
Okay. Well,
in other words, what makes things feel overwhelming is imprecise focus, or making things that really aren't your business, or trying to make too many things your business all at the same time. If you understand how law of attraction works, and you just delegate it and let it go, and delegate it and let it go, then time crunch stops happening. We'll listen to you. Give us some details and we'll walk through this a little bit. We'll show you how to make some easy existing matches.
Yeah, I started out with writing my own comic book series, and it became really popular. I got like a TV deal, and then I started attracting lots of investors who wanted to build upon me making a company with other writers and creators. And so I attracted an amazing group of writers to publish their own comic books.
Yes.
And this is a great thing, but they all say, hey, we want you to work on each of our books and co-write it with us. And
well, slip in the shower and hurt your back, and then you'll have justification to say no. You won't have any split energy. If you disable yourself to the point that you can't reach the remote control without a hook, then you'll be able to say, do your thing. We're not kidding you. So let's sort this out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like they need you to succeed?
I don't think they do. I think they're great on their own.
But what if you collaborating with them would make it better for you and for them? Does it feel to you like sometimes that you're in their bag of marbles and they're in your bag of marbles, and this is a sort of meant to be thing? Sometimes it feels that way in a strong way, doesn't it? But when there get to be a lot of them, how could it be that way? So we're just poking at you a little bit here before we say these words. What feels like the path of most allowing? Someone said, could Esther heal people? And he might say to you, can this man make people famous? Can this man make people successful? And the answer that we gave him about Esther is, Esther wants to teach, be the embodiment of alignment that then brings everything that they want. And that's what you want too. You want to teach through the clarity of your example. When you collaborate in really intense ways, sometimes you send a message you don't mean to send, which is something like, I'm going to help you out because I think you need my help and you can't do it without me, which is the opposite of what you want to do, which is what's causing you to feel split energy. You attracted them because they're a vibrational match to you, and you can feel what activities or what things that you consider doing aren't a vibrational match. You can feel that. That's when you feel that discord, and you're calling that overwhelmment. We're calling it guidance. If it feels like that, don't even try to do it. If it feels like that, don't even try to do it. Follow the impulses that feel like fun. Follow the impulses where you say, oh man, there's this and this and this, but that's what I really want to do. Do that. Because that one's wide open, all the energy's flowing, you're being called. And think back, that's where it started. Think about when you started receiving those ideas for that comic book series. There was no confusion because it was just you and inspiration. You're not the law of attraction, and you're not the inspiration from them. You are an example of what alignment and success is. And your success is certain and expanding, and everyone wants a piece of that. But when it feels to you like everyone wants a piece, and that you're this finite piece and everyone wants a piece, and so then you're being diminished, that's one way to look at it, but it's not the way your inner being looks at it. Here's the story we want to tell you. This will speak to it exactly. You're going to really like this. A woman sat in the hot seat talking about her current husband, who had an ex-wife. And every time they made more money, his ex-wife went to the court and petitioned for more money. So this woman is really worried because she thinks they can't get ahead, because every time they get a little bit ahead, this other person takes more. And we said, ooh, we wish he had 10 ex-wives. She was shocked. We said, because as each of them is calling through him to them, how much does she get? 50%? Then instead of you all being left with 50% of just what one is calling, now you get 50% of what 10 are calling. This is real, because it's not a finite talent or a finite contract or a finite idea, infinite. And so as you understand that you are a catalyst, you are a point of attraction, but that the more of them who are collaborating with you and the better it feels to you in the collaboration, then the bigger your point of attraction is. And we promise you, there's enough of you to go around, because it's the inner you that really knows how to point and uplift and recognize you're good at that. You are good at working on your own, but you are a good collaborator because you care about people and because you want them to have success. And wouldn't you say this is true about you? We know it for sure. When people thrive, you love it. And you're not a I need to get the credit for everything person at all. In fact, you're the opposite of that. You're eager to point to, well, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, we know it, but you were looking at us weird, and we wanted them to know. Because one of the things that happens when people listen to a conversation like this is that they think, Abraham, you're teaching selfishness. And we say, yes, we are. Because if you're not selfish enough to calibrate to your whole, then you don't have anything to give anyone anyway. And so in this process of teaching selfishness, we want you to understand that they all have a bag of marbles, and your bags of marbles are tied together, not just physically, but inner beingly. In other words, a lot of these people that you're meeting up with, you had plans before any of you even got into these bodies, and you can feel that. And some of them that feel like the biggest trouble are those that have the strongest desires that they're crossways of, that make you sort of want to shake loose of them. Once you're no longer crossways of them, you will discover the power that is within the collaboration of your non-physical vortices. That makes sense to you? We know that was a convoluted way of saying it. So now pretend like you just came up here the hard way and sat down in this hot seat, and ask your question again now that we've laid this base. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to go that far. That was the pretend part. Now you're here. But now from your now point of view, because you took all of that in. In other words, there wasn't anything we said that you didn't integrate right into what you know, because you weren't far from what we know to begin with. So now, knowing that, how do you feel about the subject of overwhelmment? Is it even a thing right now?
No, because I'm realizing I have fun when I do it with each person. And I feel when you said there's a lot of me to go around, that really resonated. Because usually when we leave, it's only maybe like an hour, 2 hours of my time, when I work with each creator on their book. And then when we leave and depart, I feel like, all right, that felt good. I'm tired, but that felt good.
Well, a lot of the reason that you're tired is because you didn't start gathering your marbles until you got there. And it's hard to gather marbles when there's other marbles that are already doing their thing. So what you want to do is, before each of those collaborative meetings, put some marbles in your bag, easy matches with whoever it is you're going to be with. The process before this marble collection was the book of positive aspects. And then later, just recently, we've been talking about make the easy existing match. The thing about them that's easy for you to know that you and your inner being are in agreement about. Make easy existing matches and activate them in you, and watch how effective those. It's like you'll cue them up. You'll cue you up, which cues them up for a collaboration that's going to knock your socks off. When their inner being and your inner being get focused in this way, you're just not going to believe what flows through. It's that synergism. It's that inspiration. That's the hook we're looking for. That's the hook we're looking for. That's the hook we're looking for. Again and again and again. Oh.
One of the other questions I had was, when I have a day of where I'm working with 6 people and 6 different types of people, 6 different types of creativity.
Good, that's the best, because that stirs the most in you. But what was your question?
What is the meditation or the focus to just in tune myself? Because in the beginning it was great, but now I'm like, maybe that there's more success happening and more investors and a wider like attention now. But how do I keep that going?
You don't, because you're not the law of attraction. What you do is you keep clarifying your bag so that you don't attract crap. You want the ones that are ready. You want the ones that are queued up. You want the ones that are organized. You want the ones that are efficient. You want the ones who are in love with life. You want the ones who are fun. In other words, they don't have to have had any success. They just have to have those characteristics of alignment, you see. And so the process that we would focus on, we call segment intending. And it just means, all right, in this segment, it's going to be what's his face. And as what's his face shows up, before you show up with what's his face, you have found existing matches. And then it's like getting universal forces to help you in soliciting the most magnificent from this one. Oh, we don't think you'll have any trouble being interested in that rendezvous if you've done your preliminary get out ahead of it work. We know it sounded like a silly little story is because Esther's grandson is amazing. Esther cannot say enough wonderful things about him. She only feels wonderful things about him. But he's not interested in Esther. He's a teenager. He's really not interested in her. And that could hurt her feelings, but she refuses to let it hurt her feelings because she refuses to have hurt feelings that are associated with him. And so as she did just a little bit of light work, not only did he come out of his room and sit on the couch and visit with her, she said, your mom and I are going to go to da-da-da-da and have some da-da-da-da. Do you want us to bring you anything? You want to come with us? Want us to bring you anything? Oh yeah, I'd like some da-da-da-da. So they went and they gathered up da-da-da-da. And then they had something else that they also had planned to do. And they said, but we should take this over so that it's hot when he gets it, because it was all really close area. And so Esther said, I'll wait in the car while you run it in. So Esther waited in the car while Tracy ran it in. And he came out to the car and said, roll down the window, because he wanted to say thank you to Grandma. Now, that just does not happen. That just does not happen. That was definitely segment intending, where Esther activated what she wanted. And we're not in any way wanting to make him sound like he's not perfect in every way as far as Esther's concerned. But she did focus upon some things that made him feel differently about not only himself, but about his relationship with his grandmother and with his mother. You talk about bringing the best out in people. Well, you bring the best out in people. And what is the best? Not the right. What is the best? The best is their path of least resistance. He felt wonderful. He didn't come out begrudgingly because his mother said, go thank Grandma. Esther hates that. His mother would say, give Grandma a kiss. This went on for years. And Esther would say, we don't kiss, do we? We hiss. And Esther would go, and he would go. And they both liked that, because Esther didn't like him being forced to give her a kiss that he didn't want to give her. And so hisses are just fine with Esther. You get what we're talking about. It's so fun to watch right before your eyes. When you intend something, we're talking about seconds. We're talking about 17 seconds that collects something else and another 17 seconds that collects something else. We're talking about only that much. That's enough to get it going. If you spend 17, we can be more clear about this. When you focus on something for as little as 17 seconds, the law of attraction brings another equivalent thought vibration to it. And did you ever play with mercury? Esther and her sister deliberately broke a thermometer when they were kids, and they played with the mercury. It would spatter. She knows it's poison now, but then she didn't know. And it would gather up, and the little blob would get bigger and bigger and bigger. So you drop it in, and then 17 seconds, bloop, something else joins it that's just like it, that makes it more attractive in nature. Another 17 seconds, bloop, you cross the 68-second mark, you've got activity. You've got manifestational activity. You've got enough that is noticeable, and you know that from your creative work. The problem with getting together with a lot of people is that they scatter the thoughts and they scatter the energy, so you don't get that. You don't get that blah, blah, blah. You get. And so if you have segment intended so that you've already got the momentum going, and it's relative to this person because you have found the easy to find, easy, good feeling attributes of them, they'll come ready to play, and you'll notice it. And you don't want to say, I bring the best out in you, even though you know it, because you know what? When you play like that, they bring the best out in you. It's a collaboration where you can't tell whose idea that was, because it's an idea that was born because both of you were there, that would not have been born if both of you hadn't been there. And that is co-creating at its best.